Hi friends, in this session I'm going to tell you about synchronization in Java. So what is synchronization? Um, we have a resource and the we have a resource that should be shared among many threads. And we need to ensure only one thread uses the resource at a time. So to achieve this, we go with a concept called synchronization. Synchronization, it is achieved using the keyword synchronized. All right, let me repeat it. The what is synchronization? We do have a resource, all right, and that resource should be shared among many threads, and we would like to we would like a single thread um, to make use of the resource at a time. So how do we uh, achieve this? So using the concept synchronization, we can achieve this. All right, and synchronization can be achieved using synchronized keyword, and we are going to apply the synchronized keyword to a method. All right, and one more, um, it can be done in two ways. Synchronization, one is synchronized method, the other one is synchronized block. Okay, so every object does have a mutex, that is mutual exclusive lock. um, when a thread enters the in other words, we can say mutual exclusive lock. It is every object has a um, monitor. All right, so when the thread enters the monitor, till that thread comes out of the monitor, no other thread can access the resource. I mean the monitor. So every object has a monitor, and the thread which enters the monitor, it does some work, some task. So till that thread comes out of the monitor, no other thread uh, can enter the monitor. All right, so this we call it as a mutex, mutual exclusive lock. This is achieved using the using the keyword synchronized, that can be applied to a method as well. The other way is block, synchronized block. So we're going to see synchronized method as well the synchronized block in this session. All right, let's get into the video. I will show you in the program. Okay, all right, here let me create let me create a package here, sync one, right? And in this I just create a class called call me. Okay, here what I do, I create a method named call, and I pass in a string string object to this method. Mm, here I just type in some text inside class call me call method. I just print the string which I get it as a parameter. So what I have done here till now, I have created a class called callMe, and inside the class you can see a method named call, and which gets a parameter string object, and that string object is printed within the method. Okay, and here I just create a try block. Here I write down the exception cache flow exception for cache block. I define the exception. Here what I do, just within the try block I call the sleep method. Just type the keyword thread and uh, type the dot, I mean key in the dot, and then you can see the pop-up which shows a few methods. Sleep, you can select the sleep and pass in some numerical numbers, so that this thread is suspended for some time. All right, that's it. So I have created a class called callMe, and within this callMe class, a method I have defined named call, which takes a string object parameter. Okay, and that string object is printed within the method, and I call the sleep method within the method call, for so which plays the thread for suspended for some time. All right, so that's it. So let me create one more class, and the name of the class is caller. Okay, and here what I do, I'm going to create a so thread. All right, so this what we have created call me, it is an object, it is a class. So here I just create here I just create uh, here I just create one you can see this. I'm gonna create caller. I have defined the caller, and here I just create a thread. All right, named caller. So what I should do, thread can be created in two ways, using thread class method, or else implementing the runnable interface. So I'm going to implement the runnable interface. So let me add, you can see add. Okay, and click on finish. All right, so we have created the runnable, I mean the caller. I have created the thread. Okay, so I mean I have defined I have created a thread using runnable interface. So you can see the name of the thread is caller. Okay, here what I do, I need to create the instant constructor. All right, this constructor takes okay, before I create the constructor, let me define the instance variable. All right, call me target and string message, and then thread t. All right, so we have declared few instance variable. I mean we have declared an instance variable string message, and then a reference variable for the call me object, call me class, and then um, reference variable t for the class thread. Okay, and I'm going to create the constructor for this caller thread, and this constructor takes two parameter. One is the object of the call me. Okay, so call me target, and the other one is a string object. Okay, and inside that what I do, uh, target call me object equal the targ. I just assign the call me object to the call me object reference variable, and then the string which I get through the constructor, I assign it to the string variable message. All right, and then I create the thread t equal new thread, where I pass in the object as this. Alright, now let me start this thread by calling the start method. You can see the start method. Fine, that's it. So we done within the we started the thread within the constructor. Okay, now I'm going to override the run method. Here what I do, already I have a class called call me, right? So I'm gonna, and this class does have a method named call, so I'm gonna call this call method of call me class. So how do I call? Already I have a defined the object of the class call me, which is target. So target dot, you can see when you press when you key in the dot, you can see the pop-up window which shows the methods in the call me class, which is call. This call method, you just select that, and you need to pass in some string objects. Message, already we have, we can pass in the message as a string object. Okay, that's it. Fine. We have created a thread caller, and within the caller thread we call the call me object, call me class call method. All right, fine. Let me create one more class, sync. Okay, and sync1. All right, so here I make a check mark in the public static void main. Here what I do, I'm going to create the object for the call me object, target 1 equal new call me. Okay, I have created the object for the call me class. You can see the object name is target 1. So how do I create the object? Using the new keyword. All right, fine. And now let me create the object for the, let me create the few threads of the, let me create few object for the thread caller. All right, there is we have defined a thread named caller. I'm going to create object for this caller thread. Caller obj1 equal new caller, and I believe you remember this caller thread which takes the which has a constructor that takes two parameter. One is the call me object, call me class object, and the other one is a string object. So call me class object, uh, we do have the target one just now we have created, we pass it that, and the string object you pass in some text here. All right, let me create, let me say rock. Okay, and I have created one object for the thread caller. Let me create two more objects. I have just copied, and let me change the reference variable object name 3. Okay, here I just give and. All right, so all them, I just created three different objects of caller of the, I have created three different objects of the thread named caller. Okay, and let me just here, let me run this program. All right, See, we the program got executed and we got the output. You can see this. Okay, you can see this. Yeah, you can see in the console inside class call me. So inside class call me, call method, and what does it mean? Inside class call me, in the sense it has to go in, this is the class, right? Class call me, and inside class call me, yeah, and call method, here is a call method, and the text which got printed is and. So we have passed in as a string parameter, the call method is and it got printed here, it got printed here. Similarly, for the object, I just create one more object for the thread caller, and one more object for object obj3 for the caller thread. So let me here in the console you can see and first initially and is got printed and then rock and roll, right? So let me change. We can see here, let me tell you the real purpose of using the synchronized keyword. All right, here in this till now we didn't make use of the word keyword string synchronized. Here what we do, like we are calling this call me call method. All right, we're calling this call me call method. I mean, this call method is shared by three objects: object 1, object 2, and object 3. All right, so um, the thing is, within the call method you can see the sleep, right? When the control comes to the sleep, when the JVM calls the sleep, this I mean, when within the call method we call the sleep method, right? So it puts the thread suspended for some time. So when the thread when this call method calls the sleep method, so that again the JVM allows, I mean the call method allows other thread to make use of it. All right, so when I mean let me make a point here. What happened, we are not using the synchronized till now. So this call method, this call me class call method is shared by three objects of a thread named caller. Okay, you can see three objects are object 1, object 2, object obj3. All right, these are all the objects. So these three objects share the call method. All right, so they are it's been shared simultaneously. So here what happened, call method, within this call method sleep method is called. So object 1, when it object 1 I mean thread named caller object 1 call the call method, and the execution come up with the sleep the execution come up with the sleep method. So it's been suspended for some time. Again in this scenario, call method allows execution to go ahead with the other objects. I mean, call method allows other thread to access and make use of it. All right, so just to stop this, just to ensure that only one thread access this call method at a time, we are going to use a word, we are going to use the concept synchronization, and it is achieved using the word synchronize. Let me so how do we do that? We're going to make this method call as a synchronized method. How do we do? Just prefix the method with the synchronized keyword. Okay, that's it. So already previously the output was and rock roll, right? Now you just Now let me run this. See, you can see rock, roll, and previously it was and it was not rock, roll, and right. It was something different. If I remove this keyword, if in this out, initially it and roll and then rock. When I synchronize this method, you can see, I believe I didn't synchronize. Synchronized. Okay, and then target row. Let me save the file. See, when I synchronize the call method, you can see rock, roll, and right. Rock got printed first, and then roll, and then and if I need how I mean, do you want to know how the flow comes, how the sequence happens? See, initially rock, just consider control comes here, right? The call me target object is created. So call me, this is a class, and first class object is created here, and then caller object obj. So the caller, it is a thread, right? We have defined it here. So for this thread object, obj1 is created, and we pass in target1 and rock. Target1 is nothing but object of calling object. So object obj1 is created for this. When this statement gets executed, the control goes to the caller thread. Okay, and this caller thread, you can see, it takes the constructor call me. Here we pass in the call me object and the string, which is rock. So call me object is got assigned to the call me object, and then the string is assigned to the message variable, and then we create a thread using the new keyword, and we pass in the this refers to the current, and then we start the thread using by calling the start method, right? All right, and then control comes to the run, which is an override method, run method, which exists in the runnable interface. And here you call the target dot call. So target is nothing but the call me object, call me class object. This is the call me class object, and we are calling the method which exists in the call me class, that is call, and we pass in the message, we get it to the constructor. All right, so now the control goes to the target dot call message. So target class is call me, target object refers to the class is call me class. The control comes to the call me class, and then the call method, it calls the call method, and it passes the string rock. And here you can see, I just first rock gets printed here. All right, and then it calls the sleep method. So the thread is suspended for some time. Again, the control comes to the second object obj2. Now and again it comes to the caller, and then it tries to access the call method here, but already the call method is it is defined by the object obj1. So call method is not call method access is not given to the obj2. So again the control comes to the obj3. Okay, now when obj3 object tries to have access to the call method, it does get the access. Because obj1 obj1 does have the access to this call method. Would have done with this with the work. All right, would have done with the work. So would have done with the work. So now the call method is free, so that when obj3 tries to access call method tries to access call me class call method, this call method resource access is given to the obj3. That's the reason role it got printed in the second place. And then the um, this obj2 object takes its turn and it got printed. All right, so if I place role in the second one roll, yeah, the output would be rock and roll. All right, just now you see it is rock, roll, and right. So if I place a rock, roll, and here the control comes to the rock, the first object, and then it will not go with the second one roll, because the first object work is yet to be done. So again, meanwhile the control comes to the third object and obj2. And here when the third obj2 third statement, when you have the access of call method is free, so that access is given to obj2. All right, so and got printed. And then um, when the time the and obj2 done with the work, obj3 get access to the call method and it got printed, roll got printed. All right, let me run this. You can see rock and roll. See, I believe I didn't give the synchronized here. Sorry. Initially it has to take hold on, let me check. Object and roll. Here it takes the control roll. Let me run this. Alright, we can make the thread to wait for wait till that till the thread gets till the thread completes its work. Alright, so using the join method here, what I do, system.out.println first track here, obj1 dot t dot join. Okay, similarly 2 and then 3. Let's see. All right, so it takes the second, right? Fine, it goes with initially it takes again when the synchronized keyword is used, the call method is synchronized so that till the thread I mean this obj tree. Here it goes like it takes the first object rock. I mean obj1 got printed. um I mean JVM as a sequence. All right, and it goes with that sequence. The thing is synchronized. When you use this synchronized keyword, this call me class call method is accessed by only one thread at a time. Right, that thread maybe obj3 or obj1 or obj2, and once that thread, this object obj2 starts to make use of this call method till it completes the work with this call method and comes out of the monitor. No other object obj1 obj2 3 thread won't be able to access this call me class call method. All right, so that's the thing. Here till now we have used the synchronized keyword. We can also use the synchronized block. So how do we make use of synchronized block? Let me what just consider that I don't already it is this class call me, it is created by a third party and you don't have access to this source code. So in that scenario what can be done? We want to make this we want to make uh, synchronized block can be used in the scenario where you don't have access to the source code of the class to make to make a method as a synchronized method. In that case, already it is defined as a non-synchronized method, and you don't have access to the source code. So in this scenario, you can go for the synchronized block. Using synchronized block, you can make the object of the class as a synchronized. All right. So how do I do? This is the call me method, call me class, and this is the call method in the call me class. This method is non-synchronized. I'm going to make this call me object as synchronized so that I will synchronize the call method uh, um, to make it as a shared resource among many threads. All right, so here in the caller method is called the inside done method. I am calling the call method. Right here, what do I do? What do I do? Like synchronized keyword, and that whatever the class object you want to synchronize, pass it in the parenthesis. That's it. So this target object, this is the object of call me method. Okay. Okay, so that object is synchronized, and inside that you call the target dot call message. Now let me run this. Here call me, here it doesn't have this call method, doesn't have synchronized method. We are synchronizing the object of call me class using the synchronized block. You can see the synchronized block, and I pass in the object of class call me. Okay, and inside that I am calling the call method. Alright, let me call, let me run this program. You can see the output rock and roll. Alright, fine. I believe this session would have given you the complete knowledge on synchronization concept, how to what is synchronization, what are all the ways of synchronization. Alright, so we can apply synchronization using the synchronized method and synchronized block. So synchronized method is achieved just by prefix the method name with the synchronized keyword, wherein the synchronized block we prefix the block with the synchronized keyword followed by the object within the parenthesis. All right, so I will catch you with the other topics in the upcoming session. Please do subscribe to the channel. Please do subscribe to the channel Java Track. Click on the bell icon to get notified on new post. If you like this session, please share, give friends and well wishes. Thanks for your time. Bye.